Hi guys, this is gsno.com and I'm here with the unboxing of a stylus phone, the Moto G Pro. So finally somebody else, not Samsung, is offering us a stylus-based handset. And here we go. It's the Moto G Pro, and the Moto G series has been very popular over the past year. Last I checked, earlier last year, it had sold 100 million units and it's probably well past that. Okay, so here we are. As usual, Motorola is bundling a case. We have a quad camera setup here where it's actually a triple camera and an extra sensor, but the core is the stylus placed here. I'm going to fire up the phone, which has already been set up, and I'm going to tell you that this phone should be priced at around $250. It's part of the Android One initiative, so it should get fast and proper software updates for a few years. Now, aside from the stylus, it's a typical mid-range phone with a Snapdragon 665 CPU and stereo speakers, which are not that typical. Now, inside the box, we find, aside from the obvious case, the following accessories. Okay, so first of all, we go to this envelope here, where we got your metal key used to access the slots, some safety information, and the manual. Then there's the cable, which goes from USB-C to full USB. And obviously there's also the charger, which supports up to 18-watt charging, even though the phone itself supports up to 15 watts from what we have on paper. Okay, so that's everything for now. Let's focus on the device, on its build and all the other details, getting the OCD arrangement out of the way. So this is obviously plastic in a pretty interesting mystic hue. The last I heard of this hue or something similar was the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. If you remember it, it's basically about the same thing, but it's plastic this time and goes to black at the top side. Now, if you want measurements, it's 9.2 millimeters in thickness and weighs 192 grams. I would say that the phone is pretty easy to handle with a single hand. It's rather compact, possibly also because it doesn't have a huge diagonal. It's only 6.4 inches and it's got an IPS LCD panel with a resolution of 2300 over 1080 pixels. The phone itself has a water repellent coating and it was launched this summer in most countries all over the world. Okay, so inside the handset we should be able to find a Qualcomm Snapdragon 665 processor accompanied by 4 gigs of RAM and also by 128 gigabytes of storage. To that we add a micro SD card slot with a dedicated slot. There's also 4000 mAh battery with 15 watt charging, and the fingerprint scanner is placed at the back in the Batwing logo. At the top side nothing except from microphone, and at the bottom we have the audio jack, USB-C port, the speaker and another microphone here. And now camera wise, the facade brings us a punch hole selfie camera, a 16 megapixel shooter, while if you go to the back side you will be met with a triple camera. We got the main 48 megapixel sensor with a promise of a quad pixel combo and an interesting 16 megapixel ultra wide camera for video, which serves as an action video camera, and a 2 megapixel macro camera, and this little fellow here is the laser autofocus mechanism. The camera captures 4K video. We also have the LED flash here, and aside from that it's a 4G handset which has a Wi-Fi dual band, it has Bluetooth 5.0, it has a GPS, it has NFC, all the bells and whistles including Android 10, part of the Android One initiative. Now we're off to the selling point, of course the stylus. It's removed from here, from the corner, and once you do so it triggers a special area which lets you take notes, draw and what have you. Okay, so these are two of my drawings, not the best drawer in the world for sure. That's a cat and this is a flower, but you can definitely do much better than I can. And once again, aside from drawing, you can even write stuff, take notes, and of course change the thickness of your palette and the color and delete and so much more. You can highlight stuff, you can delete stuff, you can discard things. And as I said before, this little palette here offers you extra options like selecting things, taking a screenshot and writing on it, and several other things. This is definitely not like the S Pen from Samsung. It's a bit of a throwback to the days of a PDA, maybe something like the A10, the mid phones, the Casio palm tops, and several other devices like that. So I'm still getting accustomed to it. We also have a suggestion section where you can learn everything that you can do here and things like that. Okay, so I think we're about done with this aspect, and I would say that the stylus is pretty sturdy. It feels more buff than the S Pen one. When you're done with everything, you're going to put it back like this and the option disappears. Okay, so basically a stylus phone for a few bucks. LG has been doing that for a few years, but I haven't gotten around to testing their gear. Luckily, I have the Moto G Pro for that. We'll be back with a full review very soon. This is from gsno.com. Bye bye.